In this video, I'm going to be guiding you through the economics internal assessment for the International Baccalaureate. The focus will be on macroeconomics. Here's a structure to the internal assessment. First of all, we have the introduction. We will introduce the article and also the concept. This internal assessment will cover high interest rates and high reserve ratio, which affects the money supply, which is accompanied by a diagram. Also, the effect on consumer spending and firms, and a justification of well-being. Moving on to the evaluation, we discussed the problem with time lags and how easy and flexible interest rates are easy to change. And lastly, the problem with supply-side instability. Moving on to the conclusion, we will have a brief summary with a clear link back to the concept and relevance to the article. Please be reminded that integration of the article and the concept should be evident throughout the internal assessment. So let's have a look at the article. This article is titled RBI Repo Rate, India Central Bank Hikes Interest Rates After 2 Years. Firstly, the central bank has increased its interest rate by 40 basis points to 4.4%. Moreover, they've announced that 50 basis point increase in the cash reserve ratio. This is to suck out excess liquidity from the system. The decision came amid soaring prices of food and fuel, with inflation at an 18-month high. Food inflation is expected to remain high as spillovers from global wheat shortages are impacting domestic prices. The RBI's decision, which came ahead of the US Federal Reserve's meeting later on Wednesday, was slow to come, and they foresee an extra 35 to 60 basis points of rate hikes. As borrowing cost increases, this will end up hurting the consumer and business sentiments. Indian households have been struggling to stretch their budgets over the past few months as prices of daily household items such as cooking oil and lemons soar. And lastly, a weakness in the job market suppresses disposable incomes. Okay, that's the article. So let's get straight into the commentary. The Reserve Bank of India has decided to increase its repo rate by 40 basis points. This causes the general interest rate to increase for commercial banks. They did this because of soaring prices of food and fuel. Monetary policy is the utilization of interest rates and the money supply to control aggregate demand. The key concept is economic well-being, and the level of economic prosperity and standards of living in an economy will be explored. An increase of the base rate decreases borrowing by commercial banks. This reduces the quantity of money lent to consumers and producers. The cash reserve ratio was increased by 50 basis points. This means that more deposits need to be kept in bank reserves. This reduces the ability of these banks to lend money. There will be a decrease of excess liquidity in the system. So the supply curve shifts left from S1 to S2. The quantity of money decreases from Q1 to Q2, and the rates of payments, or the interest rates, increases from I1 to I2. This causes the sum of money circulating in the economy and the money supply to decrease. Now let's see if we have fully labeled and annotated our diagram appropriately. Now we have said that the supply of money decreases from S1 to S2, and the quantity of money in the Indian economy decreases from Q1 to Q2. And the rate of payment, or the interest rates, increases over a certain period of time from I1 to I2. We have our labels, interest rates in percentage, and quantity of money in Indian rupees. We have a title. This is a fully labeled and analyzed diagram for this section. Moving on. The result of lowering the money supply and an increase of interest rates will decrease consumer spending on durables, spending on capital machinery investments by firms. This is due to higher borrowing costs, and this will end up hurting the consumers and business sentiments. As both consumption and investments are both components of aggregate demand, AD decreases. Hence, the AD curve shifts from AD1 to AD2. This causes a downward pressure on price levels from point A to point B, causing prices to decrease from P1 to P2 and real GDP to decrease from Y1 to YF. This means that inflation rates will decrease, reducing the inflationary gap. The reduction of aggregate demand causes businesses to be less likely to hire employees, and there will be a weakness in the job market, and unemployment increases, disposable income decreases, and there will be a further reduction in consumer spending, decreasing inflationary pressures in the economy. Now let's analyze the above diagram. As we have said, consumer spending and investment are both components of aggregate demand. The AD curve will shift from AD1 to AD2. This will cause a downward pressure on price levels from point A to point B. As a result, price will decrease from P1 to P2, and real GDP will decrease from Y1 to YF, closing the inflationary gap. We have an appropriate title and an excellent y-axis. This is a fully labeled and appropriate diagram for this analysis. Moving on. To justify why economic well-being is relevant is because inflation increases uncertainty in the market, which gives the market low confidence. So the incentive to save money is higher. This is because purchasing power and the money supply decreases. Therefore, cost of living increases and disposable income decreases. Moreover, economic inequality increases as low-income households use a larger proportion of their income to purchase basic goods and services. As Indian households have been struggling to stretch their budgets as prices of daily household items such as cooking oil and lemon soar. So the implementation of contractionary monetary policy will allow them to only buy a smaller basket of goods, decreasing living standards and economic well-being. Now, moving on to the evaluation. The effectiveness of contractionary policy is that there will be time lags, as there is a recognition lag, as it takes time to recognize that you have a problem, which took 18 months. And once the issue was recognized, there will be an implementation lag, as the RBI's decision was slow to come. Then time is required to visualize the effect, which is known as the effectiveness lag. However, interest rates are flexible and easily adjusted. They can be used incrementally to fine-tune inflation levels over time. An additional 35 to 60 basis points of rate hikes are foreseen. This is because when the rate of inflation becomes stable, low borrowing costs will enable the level of economic activity to be conserved. This will increase business and consumer confidence, stimulating economic growth and quality of life in India. Lastly, contractionary monetary policy is ineffective in reducing inflation caused by supply-side instability, as trying to use monetary policy to control cost-push inflation will have little to no effect on price levels. In this case, food inflation is expected to remain high as spillovers from global wheat shortages are impacting domestic prices. Hence, monetary policy can be used alongside supply-side policies to be able to control instabilities caused by these supply shocks. This will enable demand pull inflation and cost push inflation to be controlled. This means that economic well-being will be increased in the Indian economy. Please be reminded that throughout the entire internal assessment, there are quotes from the article and integration of the concept. I hope that helped. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.